and welcome to episode 227 of Checkpoint Chat. My name is Alessandro Barbosa, and I'm joined by Matthew Figuera.
It's the last episode. We've had a good run.
The last supper.
What did you bring to eat?
I have a cat nearby.
You can't eat your cats. I mean, come on.
I can't eat my cat, but you asked me what I brought. If people are hungry, there are cultures in the world that eat cats.
We here to feast on games. Let's just go with that.
Oh, hey, geez, okay. Yeah, lots to go around and more to come in the year as well.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah, this is, I guess, the last episode for, I don't actually know how long.
For a while.
Because Matthew is making the big trek across the pond. Yes, that's it. When you're listening to this in a week, literally.
I'll be gone.
So, I mean, it's going to take some time for him to get settled there, to set everything up, to repurchase a PC, which is pretty big, a big thing, and not necessarily a priority when you're trying to figure your life out in a new country.
Yeah. Also, not really a priority when I'm not living in my own place yet.
Yeah, exactly. That as well. So there's some logistical issues that you will need to figure out before we get up and going again. I might maybe do some episodes in the meantime, maybe find someone else to rope into this, maybe do some solo episodes. I don't know.
But no promises. We'll see.
Yeah, there's no promises. I will do my best to keep people updated on social media, but for all intents and purposes, if the schedule is sporadic from today onwards, that is why. But it will definitely get back to normality.
Yeah, it'll go back to normal at some point. It's just very hard to gauge at what point that will be at this
Could be a month, could be 2 months, we don't know.
Could
Hopefully
be 2 years, we don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I very well hope not. Hopefully before the big deluge of games start coming in September.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll be fine by then. I have a feeling.
Yeah. But we'll keep everyone updated. We'll figure it out. And if I do like episodes and stuff, they might not go up on YouTube, for instance, or stuff like that, because I have no idea how any of that stuff works. So
make a plan.
Yeah, we'll make a plan. We'll figure things out as we go. So just bear with us, I think, is the message here. This is quite a big adjustment in the way we do things and in Matthew's life overall.
Not just moving areas, in the traditional sense.
This is not like the same as the conversion from recording in person to recording remote. Yeah. This is a much bigger transition. So,
I mean, we could just record on Discord through my phone. Be the best.
Just FaceTime you in. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Then all you got to do is get really good at holding your phone for like an hour and a half, pointing at your face.
I mean, I'll just get a phone holder,
a selfie stick, and just shove it in the corner of a couch, and then sit in the couch.
Wow!
It just points at you.
Do it on the tube. I'll
do it on
be
the
that
tube.
person.
Yeah. I mean, that's great for audio, for the acoustics. That will be phenomenal. Please mind the gap. Like every fucking 2 seconds. Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd love that.
Yeah, you can just edit it out. It's cool.
Yeah, totally. I'll just put one of those little programs that's like every 2 seconds, just cut the
audio.
my
word, just delete it.
Just put it down to 0 dB. It doesn't matter who's talking over that. That's just what it is now.
I hate to see it.
Yeah, it's exciting for you, I think. I think both terrifying and exciting, if I had to guess.
It is both. It's. I think it's weird because things are coming together now. I'm selling all my stuff. We have started unpacking a lot of stuff.
Unpacking?
I mean, we're not taking everything with us, so we're sorting through a lot of stuff as well.
Oh, I see.
So when I say unpack, I mean our cupboard is currently across the whole cottage, which is it's chaos.
That's super fun. Yeah, that's a real fun way to live your life for another week.
Best, yeah. Joe will be fun.
No, I have complete faith in you guys making it work there, and I think you've done a lot of good setup and had some really good fortune in getting things ready before you head off. So yeah, excited, very excited. But yeah, it is. I mean, better than anyone, it's going to be a big adjustment.
Yeah.
But
sure.
A good adjustment.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side. My God,
we're gonna get so many Switch game reviews.
I hope you'll see me on the other side. If you get there and you're like, I'm done.
Oh my word! Can you imagine?
Get out of here.
I saw the light.
The podcast is over. Yeah.
I apologize. I have a little baby cough. So if that comes through every now and then.
Cough. Okay. It is winter. The winter air is horrible at the moment. So I'm really struggling with stuff as well.
It's not moy.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
It's not moy as
they say.
As they say, yeah. But you know what is moy?
It's always moy.
Video games. There's still loads to play. I don't think there was loads that came out this week, but there is still so much going on, so much to play. And as you'll find out later, with Summer Game Fest, there is an absolute ton of them still coming this year. Like, this year is just unrelenting in the best way. Some might say one of the best years in gaming ever. I would agree. It's very, very good at the moment. And there's still so much coming. I mean, what, in 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks' time. It's Final Fantasy 16.
Sure.
That is crazy. I can't wait to play that. Yeah.
Following Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4, which are both very good.
And Zelda in May.
Yeah, which has followed other games that are very good.
Resident Evil 4. Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
What a year.
Yeah, what a year. Just bangers after bangers. Just really, really good
year. We had Dead Space Remake at the top of the year as well.
And that was good. Really did enjoy that.
Good Lord. It's just too much, actually.
But you've dabbled with the game that's not necessarily out, but will be out in, I think they announced it as September.
It's September,
Yeah.
Let me just timestamp this. So if we'll get to it later, but if you watched the Summer Games Fest, you will have seen a little game pop up, something that you and I have both been excited for. Lies of P. We got a new trailer, a new release date, and a shadow drop of a demo, which is very exciting because we've seen the game in action, but through trailers, I haven't personally seeked out actual gameplay snippets or anything, because it's been one of those things where I kind of want to go in dark, I don't want to have too much insight into the game. So diving into the demo with no real prior context and experiencing it fresh has been really nice. And let me tell you, this game is it's not Lies of P, it's Lies of Bloodborne, because it's got a lot of that DNA, which is to be expected from a Souls-like. It's got a lot of similarities, outside of even just the aesthetic, which is this dark, dreary. It looks a little bit like London, where I'm moving to.
This is actually where you're moving to. This is this is the introductory video for everyone who moves to London. Yeah.
But even like I was saying to you before we started recording, even in terms of movements, it's funny how when you play a From Software game, the roll button is circle, but it's also tied to your sprint button, which feels weird. This game's exactly the same. If you want to sprint, you hold circle. If you want to dodge, you push circle. But even in terms of dodging and such, like Bloodborne, when you locked onto an enemy, you don't roll, you sidestep. If you unlock from the enemy, then that circle becomes a roll. So it's got a lot of that, which isn't a bad thing. But it is funny that people who obviously look at From for inspiration, lean heavily into even the control scheme, because it just works. I think picking up this game, not knowing anything about it, and being able to understand the language is a huge plus. Even there, if you saw, I was choosing quote unquote my starting class or my starting gear. A lot of those stats, it's I don't have it in front of me now, but it is the typical vigor and dexterity, just with different names, but you recognize it
Yes.
because you've played other games.
Yes. And I could tell, even without looking, it was like a light, medium, and heavy weapon, very similar to the options you're given in Bloodborne.
Yes, I don't know in the final game if there will be more than 3, but in the demo it starts out with those 3 options. Like I don't know to what extent you will be able to tailor a class or a weapon build, for example. Because like as an example, I don't know if this game has a magic system. There's nothing that I've seen in the demo that had that. What it does have, which immediately stands out, well, you only learn late in the demo. If you look to the bottom right there, you've got kind of like weapon arts. So, okay, so I know this is terrible for audio listeners. Let me just scrub ahead here quickly just so you can see what I'm talking about. So on the top left here, you'll see there's your health and your stamina, but there's also this blue bar here.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do attacks, it builds up, and then you can spend those bars on doing special weapon arts, like on the bottom right here. And these are just
so it's not like a resource like mana or something like that.
No. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if there will be a magic system, because they've got this other system which you use to do special weapon arts. And from what I can understand, there are a bunch of these throughout the game that you can customize and do. You can tailor your build with different weapon arts. I don't know if you noticed that I sharpened my weapon.
Yeah, I was literally about to ask, like, what were you doing there? It just looked like you were like sharpening your weapon on your arm.
So this bottom right bar over here is your weapon like durability. It wears out very quickly, so you need to keep that little weapon sharp.
This sounds like a very interesting mix of mechanics for especially bosses, because like if you are building up momentum against a boss, then you have access to the weapon arts, but then you are also dulling your weapon, so you need to find a window to sharpen it. Or
I don't know how. Like, so I fought one boss in the game, and the weapon sharpness wasn't a concern there, but I don't know. If they'll flesh it out in, maybe in later boss fights, your weapon durability goes down way quicker. And that would be it makes me think a little bit of Hollow Knight, where Hollow Knight is the thing of, oh my god, I need to find a gap to heal.
Yes.
Here it would be like, oh my god, I need to find a gap to sharpen my weapon, because it takes a little while. And then last thing, if you saw, I used my arm there. That's got its own separate bar here in the bottom left. So when you start the game, it's literally a punch. But by the end of the demo, but after the first boss, I was given another ability which let me sort of like not grapple, but shoot a line at enemies to do damage from a distance. So that in itself is going to offer, I'm sure, other customization, because I'm sure that arm's going to have different forms or things.
That reminds me a lot of Sekiro.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have magic, but you have these like other arm abilities that you can choose as like your alternate attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just last thing, just off top of mind is level design. It's that same sort of formula of you walk through an area, you find a door, unlock it, all of a sudden there's a shortcut. That's like very obvious soon in the game that'll be a thing throughout. I think as a taste of this game, it feels good. I think there's something a bit off about the movement, but that's not necessarily the game. I think that's just me not being used to it, because this isn't Bloodborne, this isn't Dark Souls, it is its own thing. So I'm not used to the subtle differences in how movement.
I guess you have all these other things reminding you of those games. So when one thing is off, it's like that feels weird. It's an
unfair thing to like compare this to that. But I mean, if it's taking clear inspiration from it, those comparisons are like it's going to happen. Sorry to say, for better or for worse.
Is there a parry?
There is, but I haven't been able to pull it off, and that's actually tied to a weapon art. So let me get out of this menu here. So the bottom right, you'll see this attack here where I push triangle uses all 3 bars. That's an attack. This here, it's gone now. But if I hold block and push triangle, it uses 1 bar, and that is a parry, which, if I understand correctly, if I pull it off, I'll counter attack with like a very strong attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not So that's quite different from like a Bloodborne and a Sekiro, where I mean, in Bloodborne,
it's
your parries were tied to
yeah.
your shotgun, but you always had like ammo for your gun. This is now tied to, if you mess up a parry and then you don't have any of that stamina to
you can't
pull off another
do it.
You can't parry. Interesting.
No.
So the parries are essentially a reward for getting attacks landed anyway.
Yeah, so I haven't dabbled with it enough, but it is there, and it's interesting that it is tied to a meter. And then one last thing I want to touch on. Sorry, as I'm talking, I'm remembering things. The bosses are going to be interesting, and I'll tell you why. Let me see. I'm just scrubbing to footage here of the boss, the one that you do fight in the demo. So it's weird. Remember in Bloodborne where if you took damage, you could attack to replenish a bit of health.
Yes.
This is like the opposite of that, for lack of a better description, where the boss doesn't recover health, but they have, as you do damage to them, they have a sort of a light bar, you'll see when the footage comes up, that replenishes if you're not attacking. Which,
interesting.
Which, forces you to be aggressive.
Sort
constantly.
of like in a fighting game.
Yeah. So you have to keep the aggression up, because if you look here, you'll see there's a little light bar, and it's very slowly regenerating. Which,
so if you back off for long enough, he'll heal up to that level.
And it's funny because when I died a few times to this boss. When I realized that, I was like, oh, because there are times when I did a lot of damage and I backed off, and then I looked at the health. I was like, but why is this guy's health so high? Like I thought I'd taken it away. So you can't be complacent here. You have to really keep up the aggression if you want to keep doing damage, because it looks like it's moving up slowly, but it makes a huge difference. And
that's interesting in combination with things that take time. Like you said, the weapon durability was an issue here, but I'm looking at your sword and it's halfway down already.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you wanted to sharpen your blade middle of a boss fight, you have to trade off him healing a little bit to do that. Wow.
So there's definitely fresh and different ideas here.
Yes.
I don't know what this will do for difficulty, because this boss, it took me a couple of attempts purely because of it. I wasn't aware of that. Like the moment I realized, oh my God, I have to be aggressive, it made like a world of difference. But the nature of bosses, sometimes you can't always be aggressive, especially if you're learning.
This guy looks quite hectic. I mean, his second phase now is very aggressive.
Second phase is quite something.
And they're very fast. They do like dashes towards you, even though this is quite a large enemy.
Yeah.
This looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, looks really fucking good.
It's good fun. I think it's on like all platforms. I think it's on PS5, Xbox, Series X and S, and PC. So if you want to give this game a bash, it's there. The demo, I think, is about 20 gigs. And it's definitely a really good taster of what the final game will be. I mean, I think, just speaking from what I touched here, it's going to be the typical thing of, you start off sort of semi-linear, but there are going to be like huge open spaces that you can explore. And yeah, I think there's going to be lots of variation when it comes to builds and that sort of thing. So yeah, it looks and it feels good. And I'm hoping that, that carries through to the final game.
I mean, we've been...
I love the splash screen.
Lie or die. Why? Wow. I mean, we've all been wanting a new Bloodborne for so long now. And, it doesn't seem evident that From is going to do that anytime soon. So this is probably the next best thing. So, yeah, I'm super stoked. I really hope that the full game gives off the same impression that you've had on this demo, because I think you've been very positive on this demo, and just looking at it and watching it, I'm like, I need to give this a go. This looks really, really fun.
I mean, play it on your Steam Deck.
Could be the first Souls-like clone that is actually very good. I know a lot of people enjoyed like The Surge and stuff like that, but they never hooked me.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it's mostly down to the setting. Like From Software settings are just so interesting, and this setting in Lies of P definitely tickles that side of my brain as well. Like it's just so weird and
it's definitely leading into the story of Pinocchio, and because you immediately see like one of your guards is Jiminy.
The cricket.
Jiminy Cricket. But towards the end of the demo, so I haven't finished the demo. I've just beat this boss and stopped after. But the next step in the demo, they're like, oh, you need to go find Geppetto. And there's a lot of, it's funny because the game's called Lies of P. There's clearly a theme of lying and like truth and deception, because one of the first things you do after the boss, you walk into a hotel and there's no context, but it's like you have to lie to get in. Like they very explicitly give you the option. You get to the hotel, they say, are you a human or a puppet? And you have to make a choice. And I'm like, I wonder like, how this will manifest throughout the game. If there are, and again, like From Software things where there are very specific quests or things that happen when you make certain decisions. And then to your point, the world is just very interesting. Like there's this whole thing of, I don't know, that a lot of the enemies you're fighting are puppets. I'm like, wow, what happened here? What's going on? So yeah, I'm very, very interested to see how this game shapes up.
Good Father Geppetto is not going to be your pal. Put it that way.
I don't know. Maybe in the demo they're like, you need to go find Geppetto. So we'll see. Is he a good guy, bad guy? We'll see. But yeah, I enjoyed my time with the demo. It's just the taste I needed to keep me happy until I think it's September 20th or somewhere there in September. This game's launching.
Yeah, and it's out on Game Pass, which is super cool. So
really nice.
Yeah, very, very nice to be able to play it day one without, I guess not paying. You're still paying for your Game Pass subscription, so
but it's a lot less.
Yeah, it's a lot less. So
yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that it's good. Like I was really, when they put out the demo, I was like, well, we're going to know very soon if people are like, this feels bad. Or,
well, have you seen any other sentiments? I haven't actually read.
I haven't really seen anyone talk about it, which is interesting.
Maybe Umar now coming up high on it and everyone else is like, this is actual garbage.
I feel like you'd definitely see if people were down on it. Like there'd be threads being like, this feels terrible, or So I don't know. Maybe people are ambivalent towards it. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we will see. Cool. You've been playing more of the same, basically.
Yeah, very little of more of the same. I've just been so busy with adulting work that it's like eaten into my gaming time so significantly that it's made me mad. But I did
mad.
Climb into bed fucking exhausted, more like it. Just like, can't wait to sleep, yay.
Right.
I did see a lot of people talking about Diablo 4 running on Steam Deck. And dabbling with third-party installers is something I haven't really done much on my Steam Deck just because I find it very cumbersome.
Yeah.
The like Epic Games launcher is a fucking mess on that thing because the launcher doesn't resize itself to the window nicely, and then navigating to get to your game to launch it doesn't work nicely. It's just not a fun time. So I was like pretty like Blizzard launcher is probably going to be the same, and the process of getting it installed is identical, which is not too terrible. You have to like dive into desktop mode. You need to like install it using some Proton compatibility, then install your game, and then create shortcuts. Like once you've done it once or twice, it's like fairly routine and straightforward. But I think what's nice is that the Blizzard launcher plays like actually really nicely with the Steam Deck. When you launch Diablo 4 from game mode on the Steam Deck, it obviously launches the Blizzard launcher, and then that thing just resizes perfectly to the screen. So I just literally have to tap play on Diablo, and then Diablo launches. Like that's it. Very seamless. And Diablo 4 works surprisingly well on the Steam Deck, given how, I would say quite demanding it is on PCs.
Because visually, it's a pretty game.
Yeah, it's a very pretty game, but it's got things like, AMD's FSR2, which allows you to AI upscale the image and, reduce the performance hit, which is quite useful. But it looks really good on the screen. And I think what's nice is that the game picks up that you're using a controller immediately.
Nice.
And maps it beautifully to the Steam Deck's control scheme. And it just works incredibly well. That game, just like Diablo 3 before, it works really, really well with a controller. So I'm having a good time being able to just, launch it on my Steam Deck in bed for like an hour or something and just run around and play Diablo and then be like, cool, I'm done, and, log off, and that's it. I'm having a good time. I'm playing a rogue now as part of a new campaign. I saw Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny describe playing a rogue on a controller as playing Hades, and he's absolutely right.
That's the class I chose.
Like you're like dodging, you're stabbing, you're shooting arrows, you're doing all sorts of stuff. So I'm finding a lot more interest in like dabbling with the rogue skill tree, because I find there's so much more depth there than when I was playing with the necromancer. Like I think there's so many more viable ways to play a rogue well. I'm not enjoying having to go through Act 1 again. I think this is like the third or fourth time I've played Act 1, because I played it in like preview and then in the beta and then the game. And it's just like I've played Act 1 so many times. I'm so over it. But yeah, I'm having a good time, and it works like incredibly well on the Steam Deck. So that's probably where I'm going to play a lot. And what's nice is that Diablo has like pretty seamless cross progression. So if I find myself like, oh, I'm at my TV on the couch, I've got a TV here, I can just launch it on the PS5 and play. Or, oh, I'm at my PC, I want to play, launch it there, and just seamlessly keep continuing my character no matter where. And listen, if your game is going to be always online, it should absolutely include this sort of functionality, because like if you have an always online game and then you have no cross progression, what the fuck are you even doing? Like,
I found that a weird omission in games like that, where it's like, how can I not pick up, because my account is tied to this specific platform, whatever.
And I have to be online to play anyway, so like just fucking sync it to me. Like I don't understand why this is the exception and not the rule, you know what I mean?
But the pity there, I guess, is that there's no Diablo 4 on a commute if you're living like in a Europe somewhere.
Yeah, that is true, because you do need internet. Unless you hotspot your phone and you got a really stable connection.
No, that does not sound like
not on the tube. That's definitely not going to happen.
No.
Yeah. That is a bit of a pity. But I guess with their in-game store and all that, they're just like, they had to make a decision early on, being like, all of the shit is online.
It's online,
yeah. It's the same with Diablo Immortal. You can't play that offline either.
For sure.
Like, because all of the city hubs are like connected or internet connected like hubs. So yeah, that's the choice they made. And yeah, it's a bummer in some situations, but in terms of cross progression, because Diablo 3 didn't have that. As far as I remember, like your character was tied to your device. So
the fact that you can play it on the Steam Deck is really nice.
Pretty sure it will run even better on that ROG Ally thing, especially since that has a higher refresh rate screen as well. So yeah, it's a good time. I think it's worth the hassle of going to get it installed, as opposed to other launches where it is way more of a hassle and just annoying. Sorry, I've got hair on my microphone. I wonder where that came from. It's a good time, and it just works now. Now I don't need to like go and like mess with it in any weird ways every time I want to play it. To just like hit start, hit play on the Battle.net launcher, and it loads. Yeah, and that's cool. Yeah, so we'll play more of that. I've been surprised at how much I want to continue playing Diablo, considering how much I played for review.
Already,
yeah, I thought I'd be like, cool, I'm done. Now it's Zelda time, because that is the game that really took me away from Zelda.
Yeah.
And I'm finding myself like at night, especially when I only have like an hour, I'm like, Diablo is actually the less thinking game at the moment. So I'm gravitating towards that. Whereas the few evenings this week where I played Tears of the Kingdom, I had a good time. But at the same time, I'm like, I need a couple of hours uninterrupted playing this to really get into this. In the same way that Elden Ring like Elden Ring, I was chipping away at it slowly, and I remember having the same feeling. I'm like, I'm not getting as engaged with this as I probably should be, you know? And it was only when I had an uninterrupted, like good 5 or 6 hours to play that, and I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, I fully understand this now. Like, I'm completely engrossed in this, and I just cannot wait to play more. So I'm waiting for that moment with Zelda. Not to say like I'm not enjoying the Zelda. I'm just like, my brain's not connecting with it yet.
I completely get it. I mean, I've put in at this stage 40 to 45 hours.
My God.
And it still feels like, it's not that I haven't done anything, but it feels like I've barely done stuff in the game.
Yeah, I can
like
understand.
I opened the map and I've probably unlocked like 3 of the 11 or 12 regions. I've done like 40 something shrines, which I've made a dent, but I still look at the map. I'm like, man, there's so much unexplored here. And then I look at the depths. I'm like, oh my God, like I've barely touched the depths.
Yeah, that's a whole other fucking area. Yeah.
I go to the Sky Islands. I'm like, I've done some shrines here, but there's a lot of islands I can't reach or I just haven't gotten to yet. So I completely get it. It's a very, very big game. But
I don't recall feeling this overwhelmed with the amount to do when playing Breath of the Wild.
So Breath of the Wild was a big game, but I think the difference is that it was literally one level, one plane. Yeah. And even in terms of side quests and stuff, like it definitely had them, but it feels like Tears of the Kingdom, they've just stuffed every bloody corner of this game with something.
It feels way more densely populated with stuff to do. Yeah.
If I'm not following a side quest, so there's side quests and there's side adventures. So side quests are like, oh, hey, like I need 5 apples. Cool, you get 5 apples, they give you like 20 rupees as reward. Side adventures are more like, they're not always this, but they feel like more story focused. Like there's a narrative.
Oh, that's weird. I would have thought the opposite, given the two names. You know what I mean?
Side quest, side adventure. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. But those are okay. There's like a bit of story tied here. They're sometimes multi-layered, like multiple steps. You might get a money reward, you might get rewarded in armor, that sort of thing. But it feel like that wasn't the thing in Breath of the Wild. It was very much like, yeah, there's some side quests, but they're like low key, do this, do that, whatever. And then even on top of that, just exploring organically, like, my God, the number of evenings where I've been like, oh, I'm going to go unlock that tower. Okay, now I've launched into the air. I'm going to explore the Sky Island. Oh, there's a shrine here. Oh, there's like a chasm there. I'm going to dive in. And like within an hour or two, I've done so much. But then I'll pull open my map and I'm like, oh, like I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I haven't achieved anything yet.
It is Breath of the Wild, but like on a bigger scale, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, every evening is an absolute treat for that reason of I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I have an idea of where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, but it never pans out that way, but in the best way. Like I'm being taken off the beaten path and being rewarded for just doing whatever the hell I'm doing. So yeah, I think you're not concerned, but the thing of you saying like I've only got an hour to put in, like I completely get it. You need to like really sink your teeth into this game, and I think at that point it'll probably click for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not like worried about it because, like I said, this is exactly what happened with Elden Ring, and I got scared there because I was like, what if I'm just not enjoying this game in the same way that others are? You know, like what if
my opinion differs?
How dare my opinion differ? No, but just like you know, there is this like sense of everyone is enjoying this game. Everyone who is enjoying this game enjoys the games I like.
Yeah.
Why am I not clicking? You know what I mean?
Then you think like, man, if I gone off like from games, for example, like
and that's what happened with Elden Ring. I was like, am I just more attuned with the more linear ones and this open world structure is not vibing with me? Like, what is it? And then it's like, no, you need to give time to the game to understand it. And then like in Elden Ring, once that happened, once I got over the hump of like maybe feeling overwhelmed, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I get it now.
And then I'm like, at every point, I'm like, I need to put like 3-4 hours into this game. I need to put more time into this game. Turns out that only really happened. So what? Elden Ring came out in March of last year.
March.
Happened in
It's way later.
September. Yeah. Because I wasn't really playing it. I was like chipping away at it. And then I went on leave in September for like a week where we went down to the coast and Shania was working remotely because she couldn't take all the leave. So I was like, well, I just need a break from everything. Let's go down to the coast. I'll take my Xbox and I'll just play games while you work, whatever. And I had like 4 or 5 days where from like 9 a.m. to like 3 p.m. because afterwards we'd go out to the beach and whatever. I just played Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And that's when I made so much progress. And that's when it like that switch in my brain like flipped. And I was like, fuck, I love this game. This game is incredible. And then when I got home, I couldn't stop playing. Like that's all I was doing. So
no, I get you. I think you need to, it's such a funny thing because I'm one of those people who say it, and I'm also one of those people who hate it when it's like, I'm told you've got to play for at least 10 hours before the game gets good.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird thing because like a game shouldn't get good after 10 hours, but some games are just too big that you kind of need to give it the time to percolate and like really settle.
I think there's a fundamental difference between like you need to give this game time so that you can understand it in a way that it requires versus this game's first 10 hours are so boring and plodding that you need to just suffer through them to get to the good stuff. And I think Elden Ring and Zelda are firmly in the camp of like, there is just so much here that playing half an hour will not give you an overview of what you need to like understand. But a game like, I'm trying to think of a game that's actually bad for its first 10 hours. And I know there is an example of one that both of us have played and we tried to like tell people. Death Stranding. That's a fucking great example. Yeah, that game sucks for about 6 to 8 hours until you get like some abilities. Like it is fucking awful.
But that game always makes me laugh because when people talk about Death Stranding, I always say it's one of the best games I've ever played, but I cannot recommend it with a straight face. But I think if you've played the game, you'll know because it's like, it's on paper, it is the most ridiculous premise and it takes a while to really get going. But when you get it going and you see those credits, you're like, man, like that was one of the best games I've ever played. Yeah. But it's such a difficult game to recommend because I'm like, do you enjoy walking? Do you enjoy tripping? Yes or no? No? Oh, well, I'm not shocked because nobody likes doing those things. But you got to do that for the first 10 hours of Death Stranding before, like you said, you get tools and then the game opens up and then by then the story's rolling. You have some sort of idea of where it's going or not.
I remember telling Jeff, because I was reviewing the game for Critical Hit at the time, and like I think a day after we got code or 2 days after, he was like, how is it? I'm like, this is bad. Like this is, I don't know what's happened here, but this game is like fundamentally like not fun at all in any way. Like I cannot imagine myself playing this for another 20, 30 hours. And then I did. And by the end, like I really love that game. I think it's really, really good. But yeah, those first couple of hours are painful to play through. You know, another game that I think falls into this bracket, maybe not so long as like 10 hours, but the first 3 or 4 hours, and this might be quite controversial.
I know.
God of War 2018. I think the opening of that, barring the fight with Boulder, that game, that is really fun. But the linearity for the next 3 hours after that was like so off-putting. I was just like, I don't understand. This combat isn't that engaging. This, you know, moving from area to area isn't that fun. Nothing's really happening in the story. And then you get to the Lake of Nines and you're like, oh, yeah, the game hasn't started yet. Like now it's started.
No, I get you. I think I did enjoy the intro purely because I think it was the thing of, oh my God, like this is God of War. It looks good. It's over the shoulder. To me, it just felt different. But I completely agree. That combat takes a while to open up because
it takes a while to click.
Yeah, it takes a while to click and it takes a while to open up as well. Because initially it is like, oh, hey, you've got an axe. You got a light attack, a heavy attack.
It is very
You can
basic.
throw it. Yeah. You can call it back. And that's fine. But then the moment you can start doing other things with your axe, like, oh, here's some runic attacks. There's a light runic. There's a heavy runic. You've got combos now. Then it's like, oh, okay, this is starting to feel good.
Once you start figuring out, oh, I should throw my axe into this dude's head, then punch this dude to build up a stun meter, then recall the axe, then do this, then you're like, okay, this has got rhythm. But I just thought maybe at the time it did a poor job of onboarding you for all of that, especially because the fight with Boulder is so button mashy. Yeah. Because you aren't using strategy there. So
you just
I think it gives you that impression that this is how the combat works, and it's just a poor first impression. So yeah, it's interesting. It's like if I'd never given God of War or Death Stranding the time of day after that, I would have missed out on two of like the best games I've played in the last decade, So
yeah,
there's always something. A game is not the sum of its like first hour.
No.
Or first 3 hours. Sometimes it is.
Or first 10
Sometimes
hours.
You get the complete reverse where the first 75% of the game is great and then the last 25% is an absolute train wreck. You heard of Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Jesus
Those last
Christ.
few chapters were something.
What a fucking disaster that was. Oh, so depressing.
But then again, in Final Fantasy 15, I'm like, man, pretty average game, like thinking back on it. Like I enjoyed it. But in terms of Final Fantasies, pretty average overall. But do I regret playing it? No, because that ending
absolutely not.
Was real good. But I can't tell people like, man, you got to play this 40-hour game to get to the one campfire scene because it's worth it.
I mean, do I regret spending literally 5 hours chipping away at a turtle mountain to get the platinum trophy in that game? No.
Maybe a little, but not.
Maybe a little. At the time, I was like, why am I doing this? This is obscene.
Do I regret snapping elastic bands onto my analogs to get...
I did the same.
To get Noctis to run around for X amount of steps? No. But I did
that
walk
and
away.
I left that console on for like 6 hours and he's just running in fucking circles.
I do remember walking away from my PS4 going, this is stupid.
Yeah, this is so dumb.
Am I doing it regardless? Yes.
Oh, God.
My goodness.
Yeah, what a good time. Do enjoy that game. I enjoyed the cats in that game. I enjoyed the bromance and the driving in that game. Yeah, it's a completely imperfect, flawed game that I truly love.
Yeah.
There's no way else to put it.
Yeah, I was hoping 16 is good. It looks good.
That game looks fucking great.
That
game looks so good.
Plays good. We'll see.
Cool. Should we move on to game releases real quick because we've got a plethora of news
got some
to
news.
get through.
Just some news, nothing big.
Yeah, nothing big. It's just it's just fucking E3 week. It's casual. I mean, by the time you're hearing this, most of E3 week is done. So it's just kind of weird because Xbox is only technically tomorrow.
And then I think
Capcom and
on Monday.
Ubisoft are on Monday, yeah. But yeah, we are looking at games releasing from today, June 10th, up until June 16th. Yeah, 16th.
It's not that much, actually.
June 10th to June 16th. Yeah, not that. I didn't even know Formula 1 was out this week. Wow.
My goodness.
Okay, so we've got We Are Eva coming to PC June 12th. Daydream Forgotten Sorrow, PC June 14th. Heist Kitty multiplayer cat simulator game, just because they had to explain what Heist Kitty meant.
My goodness.
PC June 14th. Dubium Steam Early Access, PC June 14th. Goodbye Volcano High. This has been at a bunch of showcases.
Yeah.
It's that like very cartoony, I think, narrative game.
Yeah.
PC, PS4, PS5, June 15th. Fall of Porcupine.
Nice.
Is that a Soulsborne?
Never know.
PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, June 15th. Park Beyond, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And then finally, Formula 1 2023, PC, PlayStation, Xbox.
If I'm not mistaken, Formula 1 2023, you can get 3 days early access with the whatever that edition's called. There's like a Champions edition.
That's probably what this is then. Because they usually do that, the early access on the Friday and then the actual release on the Tuesday.
Okay, so is this maybe this is the early release then. Okay.
Or maybe it's on Tuesday the 13th, I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. I've just discovered that Final Fantasy 16 launches on a Thursday.
Nice. Just in time for the weekend.
Weird.
My word.
Okay. Strange.
First Thursday, I'm gone. Thanks, Square. You couldn't have launched it any other time.
Yeah.
Hate to see it. But yeah, that's games out this week.
News.
My goodness. We're gonna dive into the Summer Games Fest. Key 3, Jeff Keighley 3, whatever you want to call it.
Key 3.
You know, Jeff always harps up and he never fails to deliver all the time.
True. It was a good showcase, I thought, overall. I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was a bit long, like 2 hours, when it could have maybe been toned down to like an hour and a half, maybe a little bit shorter. But I say that, but there were a lot of games and it was paced well. Like it was, I don't know, quite well spaced out, I guess. Everything happened.
Yeah. I think it was well paced. There was like a good like cadence of like very big game, smaller game, very big game to kind of like keep you interested. So much better than the PlayStation one.
Yeah, and we'll get to that because Spider-Man appeared at this showcase weirdly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're looking at Kotaku's article, and they have listed these games not chronologically. I think they've sort of cherry picked, you know, quote unquote,
the big games,
the big games,
which is actually quite helpful because I don't think we're gonna spend time on every single game. So.
No. But we'll start with Mortal Kombat 1. We got official gameplay finally. I think there is a release date, right?
I think it's September, if I'm not mistaken. September sometime.
Why is this not letting me?
I was less impressed with this than I thought I would be.
Really?
It looked like Mortal Kombat, and maybe I was expecting something different after, 4 years of time since the last release. It just looked like if you showed this to me and you didn't have the cameo characters, which seems to be the big new addition, like I could have mistaken this for Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, you would have thought like, oh, this is just a big update or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think the cameo characters. So if you watch the gameplay footage, the big thing is that you can select like a cameo character, and then it's like they're like a one button assist that can be used in the middle of combos. And Ed Boon even joked that you can have like play as Sub-Zero and have Sub-Zero as your assist character, which makes fuck all sense. So we're watching this one fight here. This X-ray move takes for fucking ever to complete. It is like 10 seconds. Like that is crazy to me.
It's just very long.
That completely takes you out of the fight, in my opinion. So, is that Johnny Cage, by the way?
That's Johnny Cage.
Okay, I thought so. He looks like a very young Johnny Cage.
Yeah,
so.
Look, I think for Mortal Kombat, like I'm not deep into the competitive side of it, but I'm all in on wanting to see where the story goes because the stories are
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
I think NetherRealm really nailed campaigns in fighting games where it's you do a fight, you watch a cutscene, you do another fight, you watch another cutscene, and it's just fun to play through that way.
No, I agree, and I think they've set themselves up to have a very interesting story dynamic here because you've got like Scorpion and Sub-Zero who are now brothers, and they are essentially like Liu Kang and Kung Lao avatars to Liu Kang's new godship, essentially. Because Liu Kang and Kung Lao were always with Raiden, you know what I mean? And now it's essentially...
Raiden's like a student.
Raiden's like a student, and Scorpion and Sub-Zero are always with Liu Kang as he rebuilds the world. So, I'm stoked for the storyness. I don't know. The gameplay just looks like more of the same, which is, I guess, from a fighting perspective, you want it to be consistent. So... maybe that's just me being weird about it.
I think the game does look pretty though. Like it
does look good.
Backgrounds, the animations, like man,
the lighting on the stages looks really good. So and there's a lot of variety as well. So I do like the way Kotaku's finished their little segment here. They say anyway, tonight they showed people finishing other people, but not in a sexy way.
Oh my god,
super good.
That's great.
Next, Alan Wake 2.
They said like, we're going to get gameplay, and we got gameplay, but I was like,
little.
We kind of saw this in the reveal trailer, it was like not much. It was like, okay, this new character. What's her name? Is it Sage? Is it Sage?
Saga.
Sorry, not Sage. Like walking into a cabin, fighting an enemy and like that's it. It's like, oh, okay. Expected a little bit more, but that said, Alan Wake 2 looks real good.
It definitely gives off the survival horror vibes that Sam Lake has said the sequel go for. Because like the first Alan Wake is spooky, but it is not a survival horror game by any stretch of the imagination. No. This definitely looks like one of those. I didn't realize, maybe I missed it when Sam Lake was explaining this, but apparently Saga is trapped in a horror fiction written by Alan Wake. So I think she's seeking out Alan Wake to try and escape this like narrative hellscape that she's trapped in.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it is spooky, and I guess that's why there's all this supernatural shit that keeps going on. And let's not forget, this is all connected to Control as well.
Well,
so who knows? Maybe Alan Wake's notebook is a thing of power.
Something, object of power, whatever.
Object of power.
Somebody did point out that Saga is using a service pistol. It was like,
interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. What does that mean?
Is she part of the Bureau of Control?
Who knows? Who the hell knows?
Who knows? This was the big climactic ending to the show, which was kind of hilarious because earlier in the show it seemed like it was going to come up, and poor fucking Jeff Keighley had to segue into like some ad after people just
not the right one.
As people just assumed it was Final Fantasy VII. I felt very bad for him.
Listen, because so also in the showcase they had other Final Fantasy VII stuff. It was Ever Crisis, like the mobile only version of Final Fantasy stuff. And then he was like, speaking of Final Fantasy, and everyone was like,
and the crowd went fucking wild.
Oh my God, it's happening. He's like, no. If you want a free burrito.
But he looked so embarrassed. I felt so bad for him. He just like smiled. He's like, oh fuck. Yeah, why did I segue with that? Like,
what's funny though is that I would have felt bad for him if this wasn't happening. Because at that point, you're like, if it's not segueing to Rebirth, it's not going to happen. But it's funny because he knew, he's like, oh my God, like this is happening at the end of the show.
That's why I didn't expect it. When he was introing this, he was like, it's a brand new groundbreaking RPG from some of the best minds in the industry. And immediately my mind went, oh, Dragon Age. Because BioWare is working on a Dragon Age. We haven't seen it, this and that. And so when Rebirth came up, I was like, shit.
But I think what's also surprising though is that like literally a week or two ago, the director was like, we're trying to nail down a release date for Rebirth.
So I didn't expect this to be.
And we didn't get a release date, but we got a release window. So it's early 2024. But long story short, we did not expect this to appear, and it appeared, and man, I cannot wait. This
looks fucking great.
The first so remake was just it's child's play. It's just set in Midgar, and it was really great. This game takes the story to the open world, and I'm very, very interested to see like how things have changed, or what have they done to this game? Because man, remake was great. Like, and you only had 4 characters to play with there.
There are some interesting implications suggested by some of the voiceover in this trailer, like. The characters are talking about what has Cloud been doing for 5 years.
Yeah.
Where's he been? There's no actual like reference of him being in this fight in Nibelheim. Like there's some fucking weird shit happening here. Like
my boy Red looks good as well. Can't wait.
Yeah. The end of the trailer is fascinating because I don't recall if this is a thing from the first game, but Sephiroth basically implies that he killed Tifa. So who is Tifa?
in the first game, there's stuff that happens in the original game. I don't know if they're just playing on that because he does like hurt her basically. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for this. And I think the funniest thing from this trailer is that it ended and it was like 2 discs. And everyone's like, oh my God, 2 discs? That's so much content. Like we've gone back to the 90s, or the late 90s.
Must be like 200 gigs this game. Like unbelievable.
Did
you notice how they kept focusing on a single one of those like, those like ghouls in the hoods that were essentially like the the people who are trying to keep things on this exact same timeline. They kept focusing on the one, and when they like zoomed in on him, looks very much like Good Boy Zach. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, there's gonna be some interesting story implications here, no doubt about it.
So that's out. They say early 2024. I could see that slipping to mid 2024.
I also think it might come out a bit later, and that's fine.
Yeah,
like it's next year. That's cool.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I mean, if it comes out a full year after Final Fantasy 16, that's amazing.
Yeah,
like for them to launch 2 massive Final Fantasy games within 12 months of each other is phenomenal. So
you should play the DLC for remake.
I really do need to. I was remembering when I saw Yuffie there, I was like, oh shit, I haven't done that. I need to.
Because it's also like it's pretty bite-sized, and I think you could probably miss it. That's fine if you're not going to lose sleep over not knowing her story. But I think in terms of giving you a taste of what she can do, and her partner who wields a spear, it's a pretty big taste of what Sid can do, which he's not in the Rebirth trailer, but I'm pretty sure he'll pop up in that game.
Then we get to play as Red as well directly.
Can't
seems.
Wait. In a huge surprise in Summer Games Fest, Marvel Spider-Man 2 popped up, despite being in Sony Showcase like a week ago.
Why the fuck was this not in Sony Showcase? I don't understand this.
And they dropped the release dates, not in Sony Showcase, but in Summer Game Fest. So October 20.
I really don't believe this. They showed no new footage. It was almost like they saw the criticism of there not being a release date and they're like, shit, we got to get one. But like, you don't make a decision like this in a week or two.
It's such a weird thing. I've seen even at work, people have been saying, it was probably intentional, because then you're getting your game into 2 showcases. But what do you do at the second showcase? Like, you show the release dates. But it is
because they
weird.
showed no new footage.
No.
Like they just spoke about it and they showed a release date and fucked off. Like, it's just very weird to me. I'm
there with you. It's very strange.
But we got confirmation that it's not an old Venom take. This is a brand new take on Venom. So no Eddie Brock.
Yeah,
they Brian Intar said that's
straight up
their direction, and that they are very confident about their October 20th release date. Nice. Which is
it's funny when Jeff asked him, he did look a bit taken aback. It's like, I think Jeff asked like, how confident are you? And he's like, October 20th.
Pretty confident, yeah, pretty confident. Yeah, we can definitely get it out by then, yeah. Cool. Then we got Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which, like you said earlier, is Final Fantasy VII but made for mobile. But it's releasing later this year in monthly installments.
But this also isn't just Final Fantasy VII. It looks like it's there's a whole lot of Final Fantasy games that you and I and millions of others have not touched. I think they were like mobile only in Japan. So I think there's like a lot of prequel stuff within this Ever Crisis. There was one part in the trailer where Sephiroth's fighting some dude I've never seen in my life. I was like, okay, no idea what that is.
I think they're all riffing on these like new timelines and new ways, because they have to give people a reason to play the story over and over again, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll see. Then we've got
Banishes
Ghosts of
Eden. New game from Don't Nod, the developers of Life is Strange.
Nice.
So it's a lovely dovey tale of beating the crap out of monsters, as Kotaku calls it. So nice. That sounds fun.
Then we got Like a Dragon. These names, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who raised his name, which if you're not watching the video feed, let me tell you, because if you're watching, you're like, oh, it's a Yakuza game. Yeah, this is a Yakuza game. But like, it is.
They've moved away from the Yakuza name, so that's why they're using. Because in Japan, it's always been Like a Dragon. It's only here in the West that they've named it Yakuza, and now ever since Like a Dragon, which was Yakuza 7, technically, they've now like all of the new games will just be Like a Dragon. So.
Yeah, but this
Gaiden
is
basically what they use for their spin-offs.
Okay.
Which this is. This is, according to Jeff, Yakuza aficionado on our Discord.
Nice.
This is meant to fill in the gaps between Yakuza 6 and Like a Dragon 8, where Kiryu is going to pop up again. So
nice.
Yeah.
cool. Then we got
Under the Waves.
This game confused
me. The game
that
completely fucking confused Matthew for a good 10 minutes. Like,
I mean, this game starts and it's like, I just saw Quantic Dreams. I was like, what? Like, is this their new game? But it's published by Quantic Dreams.
Yeah, and apparently this was announced a while back that they would be publishing this. So I think this is just the first time we've seen actual gameplay.
Spotlight by Quantic Dream. I was like, what? Yeah, this looks all right.
So I guess Spotlight is their publishing arm.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's like an underwater narrative game. Looks interesting.
Yeah.
Sandland. This looks fucking sick. This is from the creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama. So like that visual style, think of it.
Mm-hmm. It's 100% that visual style. It's like alternate Dragon Ball.
And it's based off of a manga of the same name, which apparently is pretty good. So it looks sick. It looks very action focused. There was a lot of tank fighting, which is interesting. Kotaku describes it as very Borderlands. I kind of get that as well. Looks sick. I'm curious to see more of this because this looks like it could be a fun time.
Did the showcase open with this Prince of Persia?
Yeah, it was the first thing that was shown.
So I watched this trailer not at the showcase. I missed it and I only watched it like the next day. Prince of Persia is getting a 2.5D Metroidvania-esque treatment in Prince of Persia: The Last Crown. This looks real good.
A lot of people thought it was a remake of the real OG Prince of Persia, the like 19... it's not a remake. This is a brand new thing that's just like 2.5D. Apparently it's a Metroidvania, which super interests me there. It's got a new prince. It looks really good. I'm super keen for this. I think it looks visually great as well.
Taken aback by how good it looks.
Yeah, I'm stoked for this. This is Ubisoft, when they make smaller scale stuff, it's always good. So I'm keen for this. I don't think there was a release date on that. They just kind of announced it.
Yeah.
Path of Exile 2. Obviously, they kind of have to show something now that Diablo 4 is out. It looks really good. It looks beautiful. If you want to talk about games that are overwhelming, Path of Exile. That skill tree is unbearably large. Like, it is so big, and it is so punishing with like mistakes that you make as you traverse it. Like, it's not for me. This game has never been for me, never will be for me. So, and I'm pretty sure Path of Exile 2 is going to retain that because like that's how it differentiates itself from Diablo.
It does look really good though, like visually as well.
Yeah, visually it's really good. I mean, they managed to make action RPG gameplay look really good, which I think is challenging. You're just clicking on things and things are dying. So no, they did a good job, yeah.
Nice.
Good Lord. Dead by Daylight, Nicolas Cage. I mean, so earlier we were like, why is Spider-Man here when they could have announced this earlier? This thing was announced 2 weeks ago. I do not understand why it was like presented as something new.
I don't know. Like, they just wanted to get Nick Cage on the stage.
Like straight up announced. So yeah, anyway, they had Jeff Keighley got Nick Cage on his stage, and I'm pretty sure that's why he was there. So yeah.
Hilarious.
The Witcher 3.
Trailer.
The Witcher Season 3, sorry. Yeah, looks good.
Nice.
Yeah. This is part 1 apparently. So it's part 1 of the last season with Henry Cavill, which is a real bummer.
Oh, so will he be in part 2?
Yeah, he'll be in part 2, but season 4 is going to have Liam Hemsworth from then on. Yeah.
Nice.
Witchfire? We've seen this a bunch. On a bunch of showcases. It's like a first-person shooter witch thing. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's on Unreal Engine 5. So yeah.
Looks pretty.
You work for the Vatican attempting to take out some witches. Sick.
Nice. Then we're getting into... this showcase was really stacked. I don't think we're going to go through every single announcement.
Yes, Your Grace, Snowfall. I forgot that this game came out because I saw this art style. I'm like, I've seen this before.
Me too.
I've seen this weird pixely thing before. So it's like, I think it's an expansion or a sequel to Yes, Your Grace, which had this. So yeah, that's coming.
The side-scrolling pixel game is back yet again, and this time it's snowy. Nice.
There was a big fuss made over the fact that John Carpenter is now in a video game, or at least making a video game, and then the game looked ass.
Yeah, it looked pretty middling.
Yeah, it's called Toxic Commando. It's like lots of enemies on screen. You've got a gun and you just mow down enemies. Hooray.
Nice.
The most unoriginal John Carpenter thing I could have ever thought of. Anyway. Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, there's a new antagonist and he's voiced by Jason Isaacs.
Is this Lucius Malfoy, that actor?
Yep. Yeah, Jason Isaacs is a phenomenal actor.
So they said their father will hear of this. They meant Jason Isaacs.
Yeah. He has done a lot of voice acting for video games in the past, surprisingly. He's done a lot of voice acting for animated shows. He was the voice of the first Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels, which everyone thought would show up in that Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and then they had that same character, but they just decided to recast him as another actor. And I'm like, what the? You had Jason Isaacs right there.
Yeah.
Like,
he's a cool dude. I like him.
No, he's a cool dude. I will always defend the series from like 10 years ago called Awake, which he starred in, where he was like a cop that was stuck between two different realities. One where his wife died in a car accident and one where his son died. And every time he went to sleep, he would wake up in the other reality. It was fucking so cool. And then they canceled it after one season.
Hate to see it.
Anyway, I like Jason Isaacs. He's a great dude. Palworld, this fucking weird Pokemon gun game is still around. This is just
hilarious.
Yeah. Even more copyright infringing somehow. Look at those fucking sheep with machine guns. What is this game, man?
Can we the audio listeners, you're missing out here. We've got like sheep-looking Pokemon wielding machine guns.
Holding fucking massive. If that has to be your image for this video. Oh my God.
It's too good.
And a Lapras looking thing with a rocket launcher. Like, look at that. Oh my God.
Not weird.
Official release date announcement. I didn't see when it's actually coming. But anyway. Nintendo Nightmare is actually coming out. January 2024.
Okay.
Stellaris Nexus, new Stellaris stuff from Paradox 4X game. Okay.
Nice.
Lisfanger, the Time Shift Warrior, hack and slash game where you can apparently rewind time. Looks cool.
Nice.
Fortnite Wilds gets Transformers. The new season of Fortnite does indeed have Optimus Prime. So that's cool.
I love Optimus Prime skin because he's meant to be this big Transformer, but they had to make him human-sized. So now he's like, I'm little Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Fortnite's great. I think one of my colleagues at work, she's a big fan. She said she's very excited. She's been wanting like a jungle-themed map for a long
it's
time
like
now.
Mayan temple themes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And Fortnite never misses, man. Like I've picked it up again a year or two ago, and I dip in every season, and it's incredible that every 3 months, Epic always gives you a reason to come back with, whether it be new weapons, new mechanics, new skins. There's always just something new in Fortnite. So I'll definitely be diving back into this. Immortals of Avium, the game that was announced like a month or two ago, which I've already seen too much of.
Way too much of. This thing has appeared in every fucking showcase possible. Like,
I'm like,
the UI in this game is horrendous. It is.
There's just so much going on.
There's so much happening on screen. It's so like I can't pass what's happening. Like, and then look at that UI. That is some fucking early 2000s shit. What is that? No man, sis.
I'm very interested to know how this game.
This game started over interesting because it was like, this is the first Unreal Engine 5 release. And it's like, cool. And you look at it, you're like, yeah, that looks pretty slick visually. But like nothing from the shooting looks very, very weightless and lifeless. And it's magic, so that makes sense, I guess. But the story stuff that they try and like shove down your throat here is so poor.
Yeah,
I think
like, I don't know.
So unbearable.
Yeah.
Anyway, this game's out in July.
Space Trash Scavenger?
Yeah, according to Kotaku, a super sweet looking game about gathering items in space and building a base with a bit of combat thrown into. Nice. Oh, I did watch this. Yeah, this did look pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Star Trek Infinite. It's a new game from Paradox. That's pretty much about it. No real sense of what type of game, but given its Paradox, it will likely be a strategic game.
Yeah.
Fae Farm, another farming game.
Crazy game. Yep.
Kotaku says yet another cutesy farming game, making it the 892nd to release in 2023. Yeah. There's so many farming games. It's crazy.
There's a ton. Then we had Ben Brode on stage at one point, being very energetic. Man. I mean, if you've never seen Ben Brode, I can understand that you'd be like, "What is up with this dude?" But it's kind of cool. He's like, I don't know if he's like this in real life, but his persona from Hearthstone through to Second Dinner, where he's working on Marvel Snap, has always been this like highly energetic, very excited person, and I love that he leans into it real hard.
Yeah.
So he was on stage here. This was a weird announcement though, because we knew that this new mode was coming, but they didn't really give too much detail on it, even on the stage. So I'm like, okay, that was a bit weird. like, yeah. Marvel Snap, good time though. I'm still tapping away playing that game. Yeah. Wayfinder.
Let's fly through a bunch of these MMOs. Yeah. Wayfinder looks like World of Warcraft but modern. Black Desert Online, Land of the Morning Light.
Nice.
Cool. King Arthur, Legends Rise. It's mobile and PC, that one. Not an MMO.
RPG. Yeah.
Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. Darren was very stoked for this one. This looks really cool. I don't know if you played the first one, but it was like a combination of like a third-person shooter and a hack and slash. So didn't really prioritize cover shooting.
There are just way too many Warhammer games.
No, but the surprising thing is that most of them lately have been very good. Like Bolt Gun is very, very good. Apparently,
I'd love to play Bolt Gun.
Bolt Gun looks great, and this looks really good. I was watching the gameplay for this. I was like, I really wish I'd played the first one, but I'll play this one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Another MMO, Throne and Liberty.
Nice.
Warhaven.
Nice.
It's a fantasy brawler, apparently. Crash Team Rumble, which just depresses me because it looks terrible.
What is this? Is this a racing game, or is it a party? Oh, is it a party game?
It's like a party Smash clone thing. It's like a 4v4 multiplayer.
We're going to play this game and you're going to love it.
Honkai Star Rail,
the Genshin Impact
new game from the Genshin Impact people. Yeah, there was just...
I think new characters are coming.
Don't understand why this was shown there. It's been out for a long time. So,
no, but were they not showing new characters, or am I mistaken?
Oh, maybe they were. Maybe they were.
This I'm excited for. Remnant 2.
Gunfire games. Remnant 2. You and I both enjoyed Remnant.
I played it like way after the fact, and I still loved it. I thought it was really good.
It's a great game. The second one looks way over the top though compared to the first one. Like the monster design and the level design looks hectic.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Color me.
Looks cool.
Intrigued. Sonic Superstars.
This actually looks neat, eh? A new 2D, 2.5D Sonic.
But I'm like, man, who do you know a single diehard Sonic fan? Just one. Someone who swears by Sonic. Like who? Like I'll probably play this game, but I don't look at it and go, "Oh my god, more Sonic." I don't know.
More Sonic.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Sonic has continued to be this popular character despite having some pretty average games over the last few decades. I'll say that I'll play this probably. And again, I say this, I'm an advocate of Sonic Frontiers being a bad game, but having a foundation for a potentially very good sequel. So whatever. Call of Duty Season 4. Nice. Lies of P, as we touched on earlier, it's got a release date and a demo, which you should play. It's really good. This made me laugh. Exoprimal is getting a crossover with Street Fighter 6.
That was so confusing. I saw Ryu punching a T-Rex, and I was like,
So if you've ever wanted to punch a dinosaur's Ryu, listen, your day is coming. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We made it.
A pretty chunky showcase. I think there were lots of other little things as well, but my goodness, that's a pretty good overview. But yeah,
should we fly through the rest?
Yeah. Of news here.
Very quickly, by the time you're listening to this probably would have been announced. But at this point, it's pretty much like 99% announced. Persona 3 Reloaded. I'm pretty sure it's Reloaded, not Reload. And Persona 5 Tactica have leaked. Basically, Atlas leaked their own games. So the trailers are just out there for you to watch. And it's pretty much exactly what we've been hearing for the past few months. Persona 3 Reload is a complete remake of Persona 3 in the sort of like engine and technology stack that Persona 5 was made. So it's way more, from the trailer, it looks like a lot more like going to classes, way more social link stuff, way more stuff to explore, as opposed to Persona 3's more visual novel style, which was kind of like iterated on in 4 and 5.
Yeah.
It is noted here in GameSpot, the trailer only shows the male version of the protagonist. This one, you could choose a male or female.
Okay.
The female was only included in Persona 3 Portables, though. So maybe if they're just remaking Persona 3, they're like, well, it's just going to have the male. So I don't know.
See, now I'm in a bit of a pickle because when this comes out, which Persona do I play first? Do I go back
probably this one and then 5.
And then 4?
Yeah. I mean, 4 would be difficult to go back to. Yeah. 4 is old now,
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
One day I'll play.
I'm keen to play it because it's the one that I just haven't played. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm very keen to play.
Cool.
And then you've got Persona 5 Tactica, which is another spin-off of Persona 5 because that game is just so fucking popular that they keep spinning it off.
Nice.
It's got like a chibi art style and it looks like a strategy RPG. A lot of people comparing it to like Fire Emblem, which is interesting.
Okay.
And there also seems to be a new character that will be joining the Phantom Thieves. So that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm keen. Looks fun.
Yeah, those are cool.
Apparently both are set to premiere at the Xbox show and both will be on Game Pass. So, hooray.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think all the other Personas have been on Game Pass. So,
yeah,
Xbox.
It's true.
What a wild time to be alive where Persona is on Game Pass on Xbox, given that they've been like historically PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild to me that
weird.
So many of the Persona announcements that have happened over the past couple of years have been very heavily at Xbox shows. It's very confusing to me. So.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's this year.
yeah. So Persona 5 Tactica is out this year. Persona 3 Reload is out early 2024.
Yeah. Cool. In other news, I think let's touch on the Apple Vision Pro, which might be old news to you at this stage.
Yeah,
but if you didn't know,
like a week ago now.
Yeah,
almost.
But Apple have revealed, they unveiled their very expensive headset. So I'll be clear. I think the tech looks very cool. I think this is the sort of thing that will push the technology forward. So it's very exciting. But at $3,500, you can miss me with this headset. I don't need it that badly.
I'm fully with you. Like, I can see where the price of this headset comes in. I mean, it's got a Apple M2 chip, which is like what's in their MacBook Airs and Pros, and then a completely separate chip as well for like calculating all sort of spatial reality stuff. So like, there's a lot of fucking processing going into this thing, and then that's omitting like the 2 4K displays, the R&D that went into this, I'm not going to say the price is justified. I just understand where it comes from.
Well, right out the gates, I think one of my favorite things about this headset is that it's the first one that you can wear and still see out of. Because I think...
okay, so did you know that it's not see-through?
No, I don't think it's see-through. Is it not giving you a view of outside though? No, it's not necessarily see-through.
So it's a camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a camera giving you view of the outside. And you know all those pictures where you see people's like eyes through them?
Oh, that's not
That's
true.
like a screen on the front.
Oh, is that an actual screen? Okay, that I didn't know.
How fucking weird is that?
But yeah, my so that I did not. I mean, I figured you couldn't see through because, I mean, if you look at the pictures, it's like, well, how would you see through?
Yeah, there's no way. I know there was
there.
so many product shots of you could see the person's eyes.
Face. But just
so
the
it's
fact,
like, yeah.
But just the fact that you can keep it on and still see out of it, I'm like, that's really cool because I don't know, it's a nice touch.
To be fair, the Quest 2 and the Quest 3 do that.
Can you? Okay, I did not know that.
The Quest 3, the big thing with the Quest 3 is that it's actually color now. The Quest 1 and 2 were black and white, so you could still see.
Okay.
You'd press a button and it would be like a pass-through thing.
Okay, so then ignore what I said. I thought this was the first.
I mean, the big thing for the Apple one is that it's projecting things. Yeah. So basically, you will always see what's around you, and it's projecting those screens onto the environment around you, which is not what the Quest does. It's a VR headset, you know. So, listen, I'm with you. I think this tech is super, super interesting. I think it's really, really like phenomenal that they're able to build something like this. I just don't see a use case for it.
No.
Like their use case, the one that Apple pitched, I'm not like making this up, is like you are going to replace your monitors with this. Okay, firstly, completely unfeasible given the price. Like it's just never going to happen. Also, that starts creating more problems than it solves. So say they're like their pitch is like you will never need a TV because now you can stream Disney Plus on this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
What happens when your partner wants to watch TV?
Yeah, you got to get them their own headset.
A second headset? Okay. What happens when people come over because they want to watch like the Formula One, like I do?
They all arrive with their headsets. I don't understand your concern. my biggest thing
it's
is
never going to replace it.
Like I think a fair middle ground is that this thing, I think it's necessary. It's got its own little battery pack, which I completely understand. Okay, but if I'm gonna have to keep swapping out a battery pack to power my monitor, my TV, like, come on.
You can plug it into the wall. That's
but still, if I'm sitting on a couch in the middle of my room, where's the wall? It's far.
Yeah, no, true. It only makes sense to me as like if you're at work and you're plugging it into like a plug point because now that's your monitor, like your monitor, sure. But like we did the math at work the other day. We have an office, a pretty massive office of 50 plus employees now. If you took everyone's monitor, and everyone has at least 2 monitors.
Yeah.
You took everyone's monitor, sold them for what you paid for them, you could not afford one of these.
Yeah. It's insane.
So tell me what office is going to use them.
It's a weird thing though, because it's that case of somebody has to do it to push the tech forward. And this is obviously the first step, but it's just, it's expensive. I do think it's going to pave the way for cheaper alternates. I mean, I do think maybe when we get to the second or third version of this, they'll be a lot more affordable. I hope.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Like if they're still cramming the same sort of processing into this, I mean, I don't think so, because like if only one of its 2 chips is the same thing that powers a 20,000-30,000 Rand MacBook, like there's only so much they can get away with in terms of price by bringing it down. Like they can't. Like it will always cost the same as a laptop at the very least. You know what I mean? And like as nice as it is, like in the demo, you had this guy who opened up his MacBook and he was wearing the goggles. And as he opened up his MacBook, the 2 communicated, and it was like, okay, cool. I'm not going to turn on the screen on the MacBook. I'm just going to project your MacBook onto the like, that's fucking cool. But that interaction costs over 100,000 Rand.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that cool. Like, it just, anyway. It's cool tech. It's cool tech for a purpose that doesn't exist.
No.
I'm in the same way that the company Magic Leap got thrown billions and billions and billions of dollars in venture capitalist money, and they brought out their product last year, and people tried that thing once and never spoke about it again.
Yeah.
Like, that thing is the Apple Vision Pro that came out and no one fucking remembers it exists. Like, I just don't.
You'll see.
I don't get it.
So yeah, that's coming. In other gaming news, do you like Zelda? Me too.
Yes.
There's a Legend of Zelda film reportedly in the works. Universal closing big deal with Nintendo.
This is the most unsurprising thing in the world.
No, I'm not even shocked either. But I mean, I think I even said a few weeks ago, I was like, well, the Mario movie's done big bucks. Like, when are we getting a Zelda movie? Like, surely they're going to do it. And well, here we go. I'd love to know what this movie looks like. But hey, I also, a year or two ago, wanted to know what a Mario movie would look like. And here we are. It's done. It exists. Mario talks. So maybe we're going to get
gangbusters in terms of money. So that's the other thing. A lot of people looking at this like, why is Illumination doing a Zelda game? Well, Illumination did a Mario movie, and it is now like one of the highest grossing animated films of all time.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna fucking go with them again. Like, come on.
Don't
be stupid.
How much you wanna bet they're gonna make Link like
everyone
goofy?
Wants a dark Zelda movie. Why? None of the games are dark.
I mean,
just fucking get over it. You got Twilight Princess and it wasn't dark enough, and then they went to Wind Waker and they were like, fuck this. You know?
I love this tweet that Eurogamer have included. It says, it's basically a mini script. It says Goron, voiced by Dwayne Johnson. Welcome to Goron City. Link looks around in awe as all the Gorons are mining to the rhythm of Queen's We Will Rock You.
Oh my God.
Link says, well, what is this place? Montage continues. Or Goron falls in the mud. Mud on your face, you big disgrace. I mean, it writes itself. If this scene is not in the movie, I want
that has to be in the movie now. Fuck. That is incredible. Oh, there's another one, Ganon, voiced by Adam Sandler. I finally have it, the Triforce of Power. Now who's going to stop me? Mash cut to Link, voiced by Tom Holland. Oh, fuck no, please no. In modern day LA, wearing a lime green t-shirt and brown cargo pants. Excuse me, princess. So it'll be like, he's going to come from another world type of thing. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I love this. Okay. I'll watch this movie, no doubt. But it is hilarious to think, what will they do? Because Link never speaks, but I suppose nor does Mario really, and they've made it work. So
they say later in the piece here that Jason Momoa should be Sidon, which is perfect. So Momoa already knows his way around a trident.
And the caption of this image, there's a certain Momoa-ness about Sad. Oh my God, this is the best.
Never
news.
Change, Eurogamer. Bless change.
You. Let's just pivot quickly to this official Kingdom Hearts chair that could be yours for $2,100.
Don't tell Lamar, he'll buy this.
A chair fit for King Mickey. I don't know. $2,100 is
seems like it seems like quite a bit of money for a chair. Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
And it's made of fake leather at that price.
What? It's not even real leather.
My goodness.
That is nuts. Okay, no thank you.
The chair itself.
There's also a throw pillow that is $80.
My word. The chair itself was made by Okawa Furniture, and they spared no expense, as Mickey Mouse ears, hearts, and crown icons are stitched and embossed throughout. My goodness.
But it's made of fake leather. They did spare an expense. They spared the expense of all of it.
I hate it so much. There's that. And then last bit of news. If you like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge and you want more,
I do.
There's a Dimension Shell Shock DLC, which adds, as far as I know, more levels and a new character.
Ronin Rabbit Usagi, what? Usagi Yojimbo.
Who, listen, I don't know any of the Turtles comics or, any lore outside of what I've seen on TV shows and movies. But I imagine people are like, wow, I can't believe they're adding the samurai rabbit. How cool.
Love the rabbits.
The game is good though.
Apparently, Samurai Warrior starred in his own self-titled comic series since the 80s, but many mainstream fans are likely familiar with him from his numerous crossover appearances in TMNT media over the decades.
Well, there we go.
That's why it's maybe called Dimension Shell Shock. Comes from a different dimension.
Nice. We're going to see Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
Miles will be like, hey man, what's up? What are you doing in my dimension? On that though, that is news for this week. A bit of a lengthy piece, but it had to be done. That is 45 minutes of news.
Imagine we'd have an episode next week. We'd have all the Xbox, Ubisoft, and Capcom to recap.
Too bad. Snooze you lose.
snooze, you lose.
But I guess that takes us to questions.
Yeah, if you want to send us questions, you can email us checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us online at checkpointchat. Not sure how many of those will be answered in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but hey, I'll keep looking at it and
have a little look-see. So we've got 2 questions which make me laugh. The first one from @PansyFalst, who asks...
Marco.
Marco. So Checkpoint...
Just doxed him.
So Checkpoint will be an international show now.
Technically,
correct,
yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna get set up that side, and if I can help it, I'm definitely gonna try attend events.
Technically, we need to pay taxes in 2 cities now.
Nice. If I can get in touch with local PR and stuff,
yeah, that would be great. We'll get you in contact because a lot of PR here has contacts there.
Yeah.
You can always message our good pal Manab at Ubisoft, who lives in London.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. Matthew will get all them scoops.
All the hot scoops. And then I suppose following on from that, we've got good pal Nick DeBrain who asks, will Matthew commute to your house once a week for the show?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Nick, we haven't done that for like 3 years now.
The past 3 years, we've been collecting money just for this instance, just so that we can fly him out every week. I meet him at the airport, we record in a room there, and then he gets right back on a plane.
It's the only feasible way to keep the show running. So.
Yeah. And I will never do the trip there just because I refuse to.
You just refuse. Hate to see it. Cool. But that is all the questions for this week and for the foreseeable future, for the next few weeks. You can obviously keep them questions coming, but they'll only be read at an unknown date, which
Who knows?
Confirm at some stage, if ever.
Now, like I said, we'll keep the social channels updated. I'll wrestle the passwords from Matty so that I can update some of them as well.
I can.
And if I do
that.
If I do episodes, you see, he doesn't want to relinquish control over his social media empire.
Absolutely refuse.
If we do some episodes, we will definitely put it up there. There might be shorter single ones. There might be ones with guests. The only apprehension I have with guests is like sound quality. But so we might make a plan, but we'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Good. Some content is better than no content, I guess. So.
Yeah. Faux shizzle.
But cool. We would. Well, I'm still going to see you before you go, but
yep.
Just so that everyone knows I'm not an asshole, I do wish you the best time on your
because everyone thinks that.
Yeah, everyone's going to be like, "Wow, this guy didn't even say goodbye to his podcast partner." Yeah, what a fucking asshole! Like, never mind. I'm seeing you for dinner before you leave, and
I've been telling people, I'm not dying. Like I
fucking hope so.
I've had family say to me, like, we're never going to see you again. I'm like, Jesus. Why not? It's like, holy shit.
Please tell me that wasn't your mother.
No. But I've had people like, we'll never see you again. I'm like, why are you dying? Because I'm not.
Do you have news to tell me?
I'm not. It's like, I'm going to visit, even if you don't see me in person, like, for goodness sake, I'm still on social media. Yeah, I'm a phone call away. Like, good grief.
WhatsApp calls are super low latency nowadays. It's great.
Yeah, might see you again. Maybe.
They really are, though. I've been chatting to Shani while she's been in Australia. That shit is good.
Yeah.
Like, it's
almost like we live
well
in 2023.
Done. Yeah. I mean, I can't. Can we FaceTime on Apple Vision Pro?
I'm sure you can. If that's missing from the box, I'd be shocked.
If it doesn't like teleport me, like give me a direct feed of your camera of your living room, so it feels like I'm sitting next to you.
I don't want it. Yeah.
What is it? What's it even for? That would be a fucking great tool for podcasting. You're technically together,
sitting in the same
so you can
room.
just look at each other. But you take that's actually very dystopian. I don't want to think about that.
It's too soon.
But yes, have a great. I mean. Not trip. It is a big move. It is a fundamental shift in your life.
Have a great life.
Have a great life. Get the fuck out of here. Never come back. No, but you and Lenska are going to be great there, and it's going to be it's going to be good. Yeah. So I'm glad. I've seen you guys being excited for the past couple of months. So I'm excited for you two. I'll miss you both terribly.
Yeah.
But I'm excited
that part
for both
sucks, but yeah. Again, I'm not dying. I'll be in touch. Yeah. Cool. I guess that's the episode. And this is the last time you'll see this background ever.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Say goodbye to it. But I might be... I don't know what my new one will look like. We'll see.
We'll see.
We will see. It might be...
it would just be a window and you open the curtain and Big Ben is there.
How did you know? Oh, my word. You're going to have Big Ben present. Nice.
Stop doxing me, Jesus.
I have a flag of London, like, just on my wall, because I'll be so, like, into the culture by then.
You have a picture of King Charles.
I'll have a cup of tea ready on standby.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Nice.
You've got to find a place that you can get some good old all gold there.
I think there are. South African
there
places,
are. There definitely are. They just cost an arm and a fucking leg. Get ready to pay 300 Rand for a bottle of all gold.
You best believe when people visit me, I'm going to be like, hey, bring me all gold. Forget that
I absolutely will. I'm paying it forward because if ever I move overseas, that is what I expect people to bring me. It is the one thing I cannot live without.
That good all gold.
Converting to Heinz, never. Not in this life.
Worst. I'd rather die.
Get fucked. I can bring you all gold. You can bring back Hellman's.
Okay. It's a fair trade.
Yeah, cool. It's a fair trade.
Make it so.
Not for me. I just want to open up a black market Hellman's thing here because people are going absolutely rabid for that mayonnaise.
Can't believe it.
On that note, thank you so much for listening. We will definitely keep you informed on the goings on going forward, but there will be more episodes. Do not worry. We are not gone forever. Trust. Have a great week ahead, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.